Are you ready?
How's it going, y'all? It's Pterodactyl here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Wrestling. Today we'll be covering Raw June 27th, also John Cena's debut birthday. And today I am also representing my two favorite certified G's. I got my Enzo and Cass baseball jersey. Not yesterday, I just got it this morning, and I am super pleased with it. I love it. Quick question for y'all. How many dimes would I have for each time I woke up and did not support Enzo and Cass? 0 dimes. Sorry, I love this shirt. They're my favorite tag team. Anyways, moving on. Let's get right to it. Seth Rollins opened up the show, and there's he's talking about the triple threat that's coming up at Battleground. But then it kind of took a turn really quick. Seth goes, I'm not supposed to talk about this, but let's talk about Roman Reigns and the mistake that he made and how he's been suspended. And, I honestly thought this was going to be something that WWE kind of would just sweep under the rug, considering the fact that Roman is one of their top stars and their top star made a big mistake. But no, they're using this to put some heat onto Roman, so wow, that's actually pretty good. So anyways, Seth wants Roman Reigns to be taken out of the triple threat match because of the thing that happened. Dean Ambrose came out, and there was more of the regular old bickering that went on between the two, and Dean said, yeah, Roman made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Hey, I was friends with you once. That was the biggest mistake I ever made. I was like, oof, ouch. But at this point, it seemed like the triple threat was still on. But AJ Styles, out of all people, came out and he wants to be part of the match. He wants to take Roman's spot. But then somewhere in the middle of all that, he's like, let's make it a fatal four-way. Dean was down, of course, because, Dean's down to fight anybody. But Seth says no. Me too, Seth. I say no. And then John Cena comes out, and Cena's just like, why not have everybody fight the franchise? I'm like, okay, John, calm down. You're not the franchise. And then he's like, heck, let's make it a fatal five-way. I'm like, chill out, man. Seth says no, again, still me too, but then Stephanie comes out. She's like, yes, Roman's situation is a huge embarrassment, but not as much as an embarrassment as having Dean Ambrose be the face of the company. I'm mortified. I'm like, alright, Steph, let's just... Yeah, the whole thing turned out to be have set John Cena versus Seth Rollins. If Cena wins, he's part of the championship match, and then AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose, same thing. If AJ wins, he's part of the championship match. And yeah, that was it. End of the opening segment. So now it is time for the first official match of the night. It is Paige and Sasha Banks versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke, and Charlotte immediately ran away from Sasha Banks and tags Dana in, and it's it's so stupid. Charlotte, of course, like, not today. I'm like, come on, Charlotte. I mean, she's good at being a heel. If I didn't, the fact that I don't like Charlotte means that she's doing her job. One thing that I noticed is that every time a women's match happens, there's always immediately makeup left on the ring mat, but that's besides the point. There was a cheap shot from Dana Brooke, and then there was a backstabber flipped into the bank statement, and with Dana bringing in the bank statement, Dana taps out. Sasha Banks, I love her so much. I think she is the face of the women's division, and it was honestly one of the most entertaining women's matches I've seen in a while. Next match, it is Titus O'Neil versus Rusev. Again, we almost got an exact rerun of what happened the last time, but except this time, the match bell rung. And Titus, it says that Titus won by countout. Huh. I don't remember that, but hey, there you go. Titus O'Neil won. After that, it is John Cena versus Seth Rollins, and thankfully somebody mentioned Ruthless Aggression, and that was JBL. I'm sad that John didn't say it himself, but either way, we got it. Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless Aggression.
The crowd was split. We got Let's Go Rollins, Let's Go Cena chants, and John, I heard him call out a couple of spots. He's just 14 years in the company, and you'd think he would learn to be a little quieter. But anyways, I don't work for them. I don't know what they're doing. The match was absolutely great. Even though it's a matchup that has happened before, it's something that I don't mind seeing again. John Cena hit the AA, but Seth got his leg on the rope after being pinned. Thank God, because I was like, please, I don't want John Cena to be in this. I just want this to still be a triple threat match. Cena went for another attitude adjustment, but Rollins countered somehow and then got it into the pedigree. He countered, went for the pedigree, and then John countered, and then got the STF locked, and then the club comes out, Cena's distracted, Seth hits the pedigree, Seth wins, and Cena stays out of the Battleground match, thank God. Thank you, the club, thank you. Thank you, club. After that, it is time for Enzo and Cass, and they were in a tag team match up against these guys whose names I did not catch. They looked really lanky compared to, the rest of the WWE locker room. But apparently they were some local competitors, which I think is pretty cool. Hey, man, even though it was a squash match, because I'm going to say right now, Enzo and Cass won. But it's really funny because Enzo was talking about how he's happy and everything. He's just riding a wave, and the wave is the fans, and he gets the fans to do the wave during the match, and it was really entertaining. So going back to the fact that Enzo and Cass won the match, the Social Outcasts are back, and they're you guys may be soft, but there's one word to describe us, and we're gonna spell it out for you. H-A-R-D. Hard. We're hard, and we're looking for some action. I'm oh, God. This is great. And then Cass goes and makes it worse, and he's just alright, well, if you guys are hard, who's the hardest? And then they start arguing about who's the hardest. And then, after that, they all ran down to, go fight, but it didn't really happen. Enzo and Cass, yay, they reigned. After that, it is another women's match. I was happy. I was yay, 2 women's matches in one, even though the match was, had Summer Rae in it. It was Summer Rae versus Becky Lynch, and Natty was on commentary. And Becky went directly for Natty. And that's it. There was no match. Yeah, that's it. Next up, it is time for the highlight reel. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are the guests, and there was no Jericho because Jericho had the feeling that, considering the obvious, rivalry that goes on between Sami and Kevin, he was I had the Jericho raised, so you guys can't mess with my set. So Chris was being the regular old instigator that he is. Sami wants to put the rivalry to an end with the final match at Battlegrounds because of the fact that they're most likely going to be split up after the draft happens. Sami, this whole thing hurt so much because of how they built them up as best friends, and then the thing happened at NXT. So Sami's just I'm tired of you saying that this was a business move. Just say it, man. You resent me. You hate me. But Kevin is sticking with the whole it's a business strategy story. And according to Kevin, Sami ruined the friendship because Sami was not happy with like Kevin's accomplishments and the whole thing. I'm just like, stop fighting. But anyways, with that being said, it is set up Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at Battleground. And okay, so Chris, I think he called the fans cretins, but he pronounced it cretin. And the only thing that went through my head was that one scene from Monsters Inc. I'm gonna put it up.
Okay, first of all, it's cretin. If you're gonna threaten me, do it properly.
So, end of segment was with Chris giving us the gift of Jericho. I drank it in, man. And he was super caked by both Sami and Kevin. I was like, oh, best friends be best friends again. After that, The Miz is back. It was The Miz versus a mystery opponent. And the Intercontinental Championship was on the line because of the whole, like, you know, you have to defend your championship every 30 days or so, otherwise it gets taken away, blah, 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 blah. Corporate Kane and Stephanie McMahon, they put this match together. So everybody was like speculating on Twitter, like, oh my god, what if it's Finn Balor? And then like Adam Blompier from What Culture was just like, I hope it's Hideo. And I'm like, it's not gonna be him. And it's revealed who is the mystery opponent. It's Kane. Yeah, the Demon Kane. So the match happened. Maurice just like mysteriously got injured, and now she's like crying on the outside of the ring, like broken and everything. So the Miz left carrying Maurice up the ramp backstage, and he got counted out, but you know, he doesn't care because he's a good husband. I mean, I hate them so much, but he's a good husband. And because it was a count out, Miz doesn't lose his title, blah, blah, blah. And after the commercial break, it's revealed that Maurice, like, faked her injury. She was like, acting. And Miz was just like, that was the best acting I've ever seen. Oh my god. And yay! After that, it is Cesaro plus Apollo Crews versus Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, and the crowd was absolutely dead, which is weird to say because usually when Cesaro comes out, like everybody, like especially when the uppercut train happens, everybody's like, oh hey, and like no, the crowd was dead. It was so dead. There were minimal haze from the crowd for Cesaro. Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus still don't like each other because of the whole League of Nations breakup thing. Del Rio kicked Sheamus. Well, he just... okay, so, like, he slapped him. And, yeah, he just... Del Rio walks out on Sheamus. Apollo Crews pin Sheamus. Good night. That's it. Crews and Cesaro win. After that, it is what looks like is going to be another... Wyatt family segment, but no, it's a New Day dressed up as the Wyatts, and you know, they're spreading positivity. Yay. They weren't doing anything. They were out literally just to roast the Wyatts, but Xavier Woods didn't really seem to be down for it. And then the real Wyatts came out, and Xavier Woods looked like a scared little boy, and Bray Wyatt pointed that out. He was just like, you look like there's something troubling you, blah. And, you know, it ends with, every knee shall fall, every tongue shall confess. New Day falls. I'm really enjoying this day. I missed Bray Wyatt. Anyways, so now it is time for the main event. It is Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles with Seth Rollins on commentary. And the match had a really slow start, but eventually picked up the pace. Seth was rooting for Dean the whole time, and it just hurt my heart. My heart was crying because Seth was just like, man, I never thought I would be cheering for Ambrose again. Man, I don't know how to feel about this. I just don't want anybody else to interfere with our Battleground match. Just like, get back together. But the club almost cost Dean the match, but thankfully John Cena, as anybody could predict, came out and took care of the club. Dean got a roll-up on AJ, and it looked like it was just going to be a win, a finish by roll-up. But thankfully, the roll-up went and flowed into the Dirty Deeds. Then the pin happened. Triple threat match is still alive. God bless, because I would not have wanted that to be like a fatal 5-way. Alright, so that's all for this week in wrestling. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And as always, I will see y'all later.